Welcome to another edition of Our City. A few things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Wednesday, February 22nd, at around 5 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to join the Greater Elizabeth Chamber of Commerce. They'll have their annual, or their weekly or monthly, Business After Hours networking event. This will be held at the Lobby Restaurant this evening at 821 Spring Street. And on Thursday, February 23rd at 9:30 in the morning, I'm going to be at the school Our Lady of Guadalupe. It has their annual STEM Science Fair. It's going to take place in the cafeteria of the school located at 227 Center Street. So if you want more information, you can call 908-352-7419. And some of these kids' science projects are pretty fascinating. On Friday, February 24th at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm going to join the New Jersey Symphony Orchestra. It's an event. It's going to play and celebrate Hispanic cultures. This will be held at the O'Donnell Dempsey Center, our senior building located at 618 Salem Avenue. It's going to be devoted to the music of Latin America's most distinguished composers. It's a free event, so come by the O'Donnell Dempsey Towers. On Saturday, February 25th at 7 o'clock in the evening, I'm going to join the Elizabeth Portuguese Lions Club. They will have their 38th anniversary. It's their dinner, and it's going to be at the Portuguese Instructive Social Club, 417 U.S. Highway number 1. And for more information, please call 908-355-1222. And on Monday, February 27th, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to join JA BizTown. That's short for the Junior Achievement BizTown. It's the Nicholas LaCourte School number 3 will come to JA BizTown, and it's a standards-based 21st century exponential learning curriculum, and it's specifically designed for 5th and 6th graders to learn the importance of work readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. They have a mayor from the class, and my job is to swear in the mayor for the day for JA BizTown. And on Tuesday, February 28th, I'm going to attend the grand opening of La Tostana Cuban Restaurant located at 603 Elizabeth Avenue. For more information, please call Dave Strojak at 908-965-0660. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 908-820-4124.
We're creating tomorrow's jobs today. Kean University.
Welcome back to Our City. And for this week's show, as we close out February, which is African American History Month throughout the nation, I'm pleased to be joined by Mr. Ken Brown and Miss Charlotte Brown, leaders of United Youth in New Jersey. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Now,
you
you've
for
both
having
been
us.
on before, right?
Yes,
Yes.
we have.
So, tell it, well, you're a married couple, so they don't know that.
Very long time.
Very long time, right? Just a couple, 40 years?
Well, childhood sweethearts. We met when we were very young, and we
Really?
kind of grew
Yeah.
up together.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
All these years. And you do a great job, by the way, in celebrating Black History Month in our city. And Charlotte, you're the president, and Kenny, you're the chairman of the executive board.
Yes.
So do you ever have disagreements or what?
Not publicly.
But I always win.
You always win, right, Charlotte?
Always
Yeah,
win.
okay.
Yeah.
So purple color shirts, United Youth in New Jersey.
That's
Who
correct.
chose that?
Well, we kind of were mutual in it because purple represents royalty, and we kind of like to instill in our children that they come from a great ancestry of royalness.
And how many kids are in the United Youth in New Jersey program?
Well, overall we have about 70 throughout the year,
Right.
including our summer camps and our year-long program.
And it started out with a handful, right?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. We started out with 25 kids, and we started out with a step team, and it went from step team to co-ed basketball, and that's how we originated. And once we learned that the kids really wanted to come because they loved the stepping and so forth, then we decided we'd educate them, and that's how we got them in classes on Saturday mornings.
So who does the classes?
Well, we have volunteers that come in to teach our kids. My husband's the disciplinarian. Well, he's the educator as far as the research goes, and we have a physical fitness instructor that works with them, teaching, keeping their bodies toned and so forth. And then we have my daughter Ruthie, who works with the critiquing the modeling and the poise and the respect and so forth and so on. But they pretty much run it now.
So Ken, Charlotte mentioned that you do the research for some of the education issues. What does she mean by that? What are you doing?
Well, like when we did Black Wall Street, I did all the research. I went on the internet. I called some professors that I know. Young man named Billy Small, he's 76. He's in North Carolina. He helped me out.
He's going to be thrilled you called him a young man.
Tremendous.
Yeah. Well, he knew my family, and I reached out to him and some other people that I know. But I always had an interest in Black history, always, and I do a lot of reading. And I used to read, a couple of books a year, but I had two aneurysms, and I don't know what happened after the aneurysms. I just had a desire to read books constantly. And I take that information and I relay it back to the kids. And a lot of times what I do is I'll get all the information and then I'll tell them what to research. And because I want them to learn how to do it themselves.
That's right.
I don't want to do it for them. And then I just guide them along.
So tell me about some of the other programs that United Youth in New Jersey offers besides the education and the stepping. Because I've seen them perform. They do a great job.
Oh yes, we have a great program, the Electronic Sound of Music, where our children are taught to create music over the internet, and then they'll take their music and apply it to different TV shows. What I mean by that is we have a media group where the kids will actually write a movie. To give an example, my husband and I wrote a book about 15 years ago called The Adventures of Leon Small, and then what the kids did, they took chapters out of the book and they kind of tweaked it to fit, the role of Leon Small. And the book was based on the consequences of your actions. And what the kids did, they actually created roles for Leon Small. They sat down, they rewrote it, they did the editing, they did the shooting, they did the directing, and then we put it on television.
Now, Leon Small, did that name come from your buddy in North Carolina?
No, that wasn't him. No, that wasn't
before him.
I didn't know if you had his name out there. And
Oh, no. It was a boy that always got into mischief, always getting into trouble. And we needed kids to realize that the trouble he was getting in, how it affected more than just him. And there's always consequences to your actions. So when you go out and do things that are incorrect, it not only affects you, it affects your mom, your dad, your grandparents. It affects a whole lot of people. And it has a trickle-down effect. And that's the message we wanted to get through in the book. And that's what they do in the movie.
That program has really grown because it's not just, it's media, but now they're learning how to do interviews. And we teamed up for about 2 years with the Broadway Performing Arts Center when certain people would come in, like Mint Condition came in. And we went backstage and did a 45-minute interview with them.
The kids actually did interviewing themselves.
they must have been thrilled.
Oh, they were. We had one who was starstruck, and she was trying to interview, and she kept going, "Oh my goodness, oh my god!"
Look who I'm standing next to.
But it was really nice, and it gave them a lot of experience. And as a matter of fact, one of the young ladies now is in North Carolina. She's in college now, the one that did the interview with Mint Condition.
And we just did one in Mickey Walker last Saturday with Anthony Fisher.
Anthony Fisher,
He's a tech person out of Newark.
Yes.
You started this organization basically with your daughter Ruth and her friends, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's
correct.
exactly how
And
it
now
started.
Ruth
Correct.
has 2 children of her own.
No,
correct?
she has 3.
Three.
She has 3.
Well,
yeah.
two were there at we'll get into in a minute. But the one kid actually performed.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he
That's
was,
correct.
He was cool.
Yes, he's good. He's very good. He was a good rapper. He
That's one that
raps.
played you in knock hockey.
Yeah,
That's right, I
And,
know.
beat you.
And he you can't. I told his mother, no denying this kid. He looks exactly like her. So, but you know,
funny.
tell me about the Miss America pageant with the step team, because every year we talk about it, and the city helps participate in
That's
it.
correct. That's correct.
Do girls get something out of this, seeing all these
Oh,
women?
it's the Miss America Pageant Day Parade, which is held on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. The actual name of the parade is Show Me Your Shoes. And what it is each year you have to be selected for this parade, and every year we apply. And the city is so gracious, you know, and I thank you for your help and support in giving these young people an opportunity to go into an environment where they're meeting people on an international level from all over the world down there in Atlantic City, and then they get to go to the crowning of the new Miss America. And just the experience alone, because the first year, one of the early years we went, these kids didn't even know they had televisions in hotel rooms, and the excitement in their faces of being able to go and experience, you know, and I began to tell them how they can be Miss America one day. And just the idea, that pride, and, you know, and knowing that one day that could be them. But it's an excellent experience. It gets them out of their environment into an opportunity to get dressed up, have fun, you know, and be around new people.
Kenny, you on this trip to Show Us Your Shoes?
I
trip?
used to-
Is
I
that one you
used-
pass on?
No, I go. I used to walk.
Yeah, we
but,
used to. We used to walk.
I don't walk anymore
don't-
now because it's a 3-mile walk.
I know.
And they
Yes,
really
yes.
they drill the whole time. So I don't, you know, I'll take them down there and I'll meet them on the other end when they
Yes,
get done. But
yes.
it's a great experience.
They
So one
actually
year-
perform in the parade.
That's
right?
correct.
whole
From
route.
start,
Yeah.
from start to finish, and I believe that's one of the reasons why we're selected each year, because they have the footage from the parades, and they see when our kids hit that boardwalk, it's like thunder. It's from start to finish. We do it in the rain. No matter how the weather is, our kids, they come through like champs. They don't slack up, because we have a drill sergeant, Mr. Jamal. He is a drill sergeant, and he works these kids nonstop, getting them prepared, getting their bodies conditioned to where they're not collapsing, because you have some groups, we have ambulances on the end.
Yeah, do they meet some of
Yeah.
the women contestants?
Oh, yes,
they do?
yes they do. Yes, they do.
One year, one
Yes,
of them was
they
right
do.
across the hall. That was
hotel?
she was what 25 years ago, right? And she was in the parade.
Yes,
she was right across the hall from
That's
us.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. But it's a great experience for them.
So let's get to the play. What
Mm-hmm.
inspired you guys to write the play? Not only this one, but this is the 5th one you did, maybe?
No, this is our
Seventh.
seventh play.
7th. Well, I got missed by 2.
Yes, yes.
So, what?
It's
Ken, is this
it's
from your
almost
research?
like connecting the dots. The first one was In God's Hands. We did that at Mickey Walker.
In
That was just
1998.
something we wanted to do with the kids. And then we went to Ambo, and that's the slave that's buried out in
Rawway Cemetery. Yeah.
So
yeah.
we did the research on her, and then we restored her headstone.
We restored her headstone, but we also put in an interpretive sign, which tells a little background about who this slave is that's buried in Rawway Cemetery. And it's the only headstone in Rawway Cemetery that states the daughter of 2 African slaves. The only one.
Now, did she ever have a family, Anbo, or she?
No.
No,
She had no children. She had no children, and she was actually buried with the family that owned her. They buried her in their family plot. So because they thought a lot of her, she was over
So
100.
she must have had a
Yes.
high ranking.
Oh yeah,
or
well she
whatever
was.
the terminology.
She was
is.
loyal. She was very
is the word,
loyal,
yeah.
and once she reached 100 years old, she wasn't going anywhere at that point. So it was
She
a
lived to
thing
be
where
100.
yes,
Yeah, because
yes,
when she
yes,
was 80 something, I think she was only worth like a nickel.
a nickel, yeah.
So her value just went down, down, down. She was just, they just put her in the family plot.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was our second play.
So the value of an older slave was worth less.
That's correct.
less and
That's
less
correct.
and less.
That's correct. That's correct.
So after Anbo, what were some of the other plays?
Well,
Harriet Tubman, right?
Yeah, who was Harriet Tubman? We wanted to do who was Harriet Tubman because a lot of people, you hear about Harriet Tubman, but a lot of people ask the question, but who was she really? We believe whenever we do our plays, they're very educational, and we do our research. And because of that, we bring out facts that many people don't know about. We're known for that. So that's why we strive on making sure that they're educated and we do a thorough background.
Is there
And
a favorite play? Go ahead, Ken.
Well, Harriet Tubman, she met Frederick Douglass. So when we did Harriet Tubman, we figured we'd go right into Frederick Douglass.
Frederick
and do
Douglass,
that
the
one.
man.
Yeah,
That's
the man. And then
President Trump thinks he's still alive.
oh yeah, I know.
I know.
Yeah, I saw that. I
We'll leave
saw
that
that.
He
alone.
might have the birth certificate,
We'll
but
leave that
anyway.
alone, yeah.
But that was one of our good ones. But my favorite, I like them all because they're connected, but I really like MLK. And I really like when when the 4 girls got bombed and we had the coffins on the stage and the girls danced. I thought that was a very powerful move.
It was that show was really moving to a lot of people in the audience.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes.
We're going to come back and talk not only about that, but also the most recent play. But we're going to do a few commercials first. Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
Please stay with us after these messages. We'll be back with more with Ken and Charlotte Brown and the United Youth of New Jersey.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started. Welcome back to our city, where I'm pleased to be joined by Ken and Charlotte Brown, the United Youth of New Jersey, talking about Black History Month here in the city of Elizabeth. Ken, one of the things you talked about in the play is your favorite one was the MLK. How do you select the actors, and how do you pick the people who are in these plays? Not only the kids, I get that, but how do you get the adults? Who says, hey, I want you to be MLK, I want you to play Anbo? How do you do that?
Just... No offense to my actors, but everyone seems like they want to act. And this is like an opportunity. So what we do is we just sit down and we give them the script. My wife goes over it with them and make sure they have it. But, we just pick people in the community.
Because MLK had to be changed at the last minute.
Yes.
Because of
and one of our
judiciary
grandparents, she said, well, I got a grandson that does poetry. I said, maybe he'll do it. So we reached out to Elliot. And Elliot was a perfect fit.
Yeah, he was a graduate from here at Kane, so it was pretty easy to pull him in.
And so, Charlotte, you get involved in the research, or you leave all that to Ken?
Well, he does the majority of the research, and then we sit down and we discuss it, and we'll come up with different ideas for the way we want to present it. But as far as getting back to your how do we cast, we know so many people, and like Kenny says, everybody wants to act. And you can kind of look at a person and tell if they'll be good for the part, just based on knowing them over the years and so forth.
So, who does the choreography for all of this?
Oh my goodness, my daughter Ruthie does. Jira does the dance choreography, and Ruthie critiques it. That's how they work as a team. But Jira pretty much came up with mostly all of our dances that we've had.
So I participated this year, and we're going to get into that in a moment. But I was part of the rehearsals, but I was only there to rehearse my part. So how do you coordinate all these rehearsals? You get working around all their schedules. You started back in October, if I remember.
That's correct. That's correct. We started back in October with our rehearsing once a week. Okay, with the adults. With the kids, we rehearse 3 times a week. And with them, it's like nonstop. That's why when you see the final product, it looks so flawless. But it's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of dedication, and a lot of drilling, nonstop. But as far as the time span, when we rehearse per scene. You'll never see everything come together until like the last couple of days before the play. And I purposely do that because as a director, a lot of people are very opinionated, and it's important that, yes. But it's very important because I want them to focus on their lines, and I don't want them to get so caught up into what everybody else is doing. It's too much of a distraction. That's why I take everything individually, and we do it step by step by step, and I'll do that constantly. Just theirs, it's theirs. That's why a lot of them during our dress rehearsals at the theater, they're like standing behind, like off stage. They're like, stars. They're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, because they've never seen it all come together. We see it in our heads, and as we begin to write, we can see it. But they don't see it till it actually happens.
Because they never saw Edwina. So they
never
really
saw
had
it.
no
They never
idea
saw
what
it.
that was going to
in all the rehearsals I was at, I never saw Edwina.
No.
And then to see her backstage when the rest of us were watching or on the monitor. You know, I wanted to run outside actually and watch it in actually the theater. But there were no seats. The last play you did.
We sold out.
Tell us,
sold
and
out.
it's also going to be again on March 4th.
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct.
Here at
That's
Kane
correct.
University.
That's correct.
So
That's correct.
we'll wrap up the show with that later. But what is the last play you did? What's the name of it, Ken?
The last play that we
The one that we just did now. yeah.
Oh, that's wow! Black Wall Street, true reflection of the Sun People. And that one was that was a emotional one. That was a very tough one to do. One of the videos that Ruthie and Jira was dancing in, that video was actually added probably 2 weeks before we went in production, right?
That's
Yeah,
right,
because
that's right.
we was at there, me and my wife was watching it, and we said we must put a video with this so they can understand it. And what happened now is with all the plays we've done, the video seems to be our trademark. When the kids when we show the video and the kids dance, people seem to just love because they can relate to the story. And I think that's one of our key ways of getting people to understand what the story was about, how
That's
the
correct,
people
that's
felt,
correct.
what was going on back then. So that's something that I guess we're going to continue to do.
Yeah, but you know what's really important about that? Even with our kids as the dancers, before they start their dance rehearsals, when we have songs, when we have the play, the different scenes that they're in, we sit and talk to them about it. We actually give them an education before because it's important that they feel what they're dancing and they get that message across to the people. And if you can't deliver the message, then we haven't done what we set out to do. So that's why it's so important that that message, that they've gotten the message, that educational facts, and it works.
So Ken, we were talking before the show, Black Wall Street had to do with an event that occurred in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And you educated me about why Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You want to tell our viewers that connection?
Well, the connection is, it was a very rich town with the oil fields and all that. But one of the most important things that they did in Black Wall Street is, even though they still cleaned the houses and did all that for the white people, they kept their money within the Greenwood district. And the money just rotated there, and they was able to have their schools, their hospitals. They even had 6 airplanes, and they used their airplanes to bring in supplies and stuff to their own little town. So because I don't know, someone said that, you know, Black Wall Street is just not Tulsa. They had the same thing in Chicago. They had the same thing in Washington,
Knoxville, Tennessee.
St. Louis,
Yeah.
all those different places. And we also found out, even with Lawnside, New Jersey, I don't know if you're familiar with that. That's
I am familiar with
Yeah,
Lawnside.
that's
Yeah.
I think it's
First
90%
free-
African
One of
American.
the first free black communities
Right.
in
That's
the
correct.
country.
Incorporated,
That's
right?
correct. That's
It's
correct.
actually incorporated. community.
Yes, yes.
And we
it
went
was.
there, God, I think probably 15 or 16 times, and went to the Benson Museum, got a lot of information. We actually interviewed Clarence
Clarence
Still,
Still, he's-
direct descendant of William Still, who
Yeah.
wrote the Underground Railroad. We went
The
to his
book.
house and
Yeah,
did an
the
interview.
book. Yeah.
So it's, Black Wall Street was one of our best and most educational plays, because a lot of people didn't know about Black Wall Street. They had no connection at all.
That's correct.
No, and I got to play a part in that. I
Yes,
was
you
able
did.
to
Yes,
play
you did.
Moorfield Story, who was the
Yes.
president of the NAACP at
That's
the time.
correct.
This incident happened in Tulsa.
And you did an amazing job.
Well, I appreciate that. But I didn't know who Moorfield Story was. So when you asked me to do this and I researched him, I found out that the first president of the NAACP
That's
was
correct.
a white guy.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
and
That's
not
right.
the only one.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
correct.
That's right. That's right.
So I thank you for the education. That's what I'm getting at.
So we did what we set out to do.
Right.
You got the message.
Yeah, and to learn about that period in history and exactly, because you couldn't just Snapchat what was going on in Tulsa to people in Chicago or New York or anywhere else for that
That's
matter.
right. That's
You had to go there
That's
Yeah.
right.
and find out exactly what was going on. And that was part of the meeting I was involved in on stage. Was
That's correct.
you got to send somebody there.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And that was important. They needed to know firsthand.
Right. So you had to send somebody there. They had to find out. Then they had to get back, right?
Yep,
That's correct.
that's correct.
That's
Say, well,
correct.
this is what's so the communication was slow. I mean, the phone
Yeah.
was just being developed.
That's right.
It's only
That's
20
right.
years old at that time, roughly.
That's right.
So did all of the cast members, by the way, enjoy? You said it was a difficult play and educational. What was the reaction from the other cast members back to you after that play?
It's always good because for some reason it's more of a problem when we don't ask them to participate. So when no matter what part it is, they understand the play, they enjoy it, they just look for it every year. We have to, even if you're just a, stand-in, or if you're just an extra, everybody has to be a part of the play. They just love every play that we do.
Yeah, because we've had actors, a lot of the men that we were sitting around the table with you, some of them have been with us for like 3 and 4 years in different plays, 3 and 4 plays. So a lot of them are repeaters because they always look for that, opportunity to get it out there about history and to educate.
And we have a chance to sit down and talk. And with MLK, we did a phone interview with Clifford Alexander, who was the right-hand man to Lyndon B. Johnson on the civil rights. And he's the one that told us there was women at the meeting, how, what is his name? Adam Clayton Powell. He wrote the Civil Rights Bill. He was really ahead of Martin Luther King and them with this.
That's correct.
So he explained the whole thing to us, and we have it all on tape.
That's right. But that's why it's so important about knowing your history, because when we had that phone conversation, just to show you how thorough the research is and how far we'll go to find out the facts. And the good thing about it, he was so gracious and so willing to share information with us, and he's still just as sharp as he's ever been, and it was a great opportunity to actually talk to him, somebody that was there.
So have you started working on the next play?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we have a title.
You have a title.
We have a title.
We can't literally work on it until after we finish this on March 4th. And then we'll focus all of our attention on our upcoming play, which is the story of Emmett Till.
Which is a very interesting story in the history of civil rights.
Yes, it is.
So tell our viewers, first of all, at the play that I did in February, the Wilkins Theater was packed, and that seats somewhere between 400 and 500 people.
It seats
that seats
837.
Oh, it does.
And you can squeeze in 9 something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hard for those people to sit
So
on.
then there were 800 people there.
Yes.
Yeah, over 800.
Right.
It was
and
over 800.
it was terrific. So
yes, it was amazing.
Tell the viewers about the day of the next one and encourage them to come.
Oh, yes. Well, we're asking everyone to come and be a part of history as we once again give an amazing performance of Black Wall Street, a true reflection of the Sun People. Come and you'll be educated, come and you'll learn, come and you'll be entertained. But the good thing about it is you've got an amazing cast that will give you 110%. You'll see little children from 7 years old up to 18 and then some that will be dancing amazingly. But without a doubt, it's an amazing play, an educational play.
Get the date
and
in.
you don't want to miss it. The date is March 4th at Kean University. The doors will open at 2 o'clock. The show will start promptly at 3 o'clock p.m. at Kean University Wilkins Theater.
Charlotte and Ken, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show.
No, thank you.
Thank
give
you
us
for having us.
a phone number if anybody sees the show they
Yes.
want to call.
Okay, if you're interested in calling, please give us a call at 908-220-5279, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Kenny and Charlotte, thank you very much, and continue
you.
the good work. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you for having us.
For Ken Brown and Charlotte Brown, I'm Chris Bolwage, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Why do we like it here? Let's just say the reasons are diverse. Kean University.